guys, welcome back to Esentaxa. Andrea Papito here, and in this video I'm going to explain you what kind of tool you need to use to calculate taxes in Italy online. First of all, if you are new in the channel, this is Esentaxa channel. In this channel we spread information about the Italian tax system, the Italian fiscal system. We explain how to optimize taxes in Italy and helps you to make a long-term plan strategy. Of course, we also offer consultancy services, and you will find in the description below the video the link to our services and descriptions. So in this video, I'm going to explain you quickly and easily how to calculate your taxes, how to have an idea of how much taxes you might pay if you want to relocate to Italy. So you can basically simulate yourself, your income, just using a couple of tools that I'm going to show you right now. And those are very easy to use. And basically, I'm going to guide you through, and it will be very also comprehensible and very easy to, let's say, compare what you're now pay as a taxes in your own country versus Italian taxation if you relocate to Italy. Okay, let's start with this calculator that I have found online. It's called IRPEF Online Calculator. I also, of course, is in Italian. So what I did is just I copy and paste the URL into Google Translate, and you will have the straight English version. I will put this translated version in the description below this video, so you have a direct access to this one. And here with this tool, you're going to calculate the IRPEF taxation. So if you're subscribed to the channel Esentaxa, you will have plenty of videos, so you will get notified with plenty of videos in which we are going to explain, and we have explained in the past how the IRPEF taxation works in Italy. So it's the bracket system. So you have a certain kind of income with certain kind of percentage in terms of taxation, and then it grows, the taxation grows based on your income. This tool calculates automatically this kind of operation. So it gives you the average based on your income that you're earning. And this works for employee income, general type of income, self-employed income, real estate income. So everything that fall into IRPEF taxation. Okay, let's have a look at this tool. Okay, the tool says IRPEF 2020. In 2022, we had a cut of a couple of percentage of 2 points in terms of percentage of Italian taxation. So on the general Italian taxation, so the IRPEF now is a little bit lower, especially for lower income. You will find also this update in our videos in Taxa. I will put also this video in the description below. And basically, you have an idea with this tool. You will have an estimation. The tool is very simple. You're going to include here your annual revenue. So you have to keep in mind that the annual revenue, it's your global worldwide income, okay? Because the worldwide income on general cases, be careful, when I say general cases, I mean like most common incomes, employee, self-employed. I'm not talking about special regimes, which we are going to talk about later in this video. But for general income, worldwide income, you have to consider the annual income as the unique box in which you will put your revenue. So let's imagine I'm going to earn something like 50,000 euro per year. Okay, I'm going to specify the region where I'm going to live in Italy, or if I'm already living in Italy, where basically the place of residence. And at the top of the IRPEF taxation, we have other two layers of taxation. One is the additional regional tax and the communal regional tax. So with this tool, you also have an idea, an estimation of what could be the fiscal pressure, included the regional tax and the communal tax. So, for example, you can pick up the region, for example, Lazio, where we have the capital, Rome, and you can put here, the translation is not clear, but commune is like the place where you live in the city, okay, the commune of residence, or the municipality of residence. And here we can put Rome, for example, as a general commune. Of course, if you're living in a small city close to Rome, maybe the communal tax is lower. Now, here the type of income, you're going to basically specify the type of income. So you're an employee, for example, you select in the drop-down list employee. If you're self-employed, you stop self-employed, pension, and retirement. Why have this difference? Because based on the type of income, the Italian states grant you detractions. The detractions are basically reduction of the taxation. So it's different from deduction. The deduction is reducing your taxable income. So when you reduce your taxable income, what remains is going to be calculated into IRPEF taxation. The detractions, known in Italian as detrazioni, they reduce the tax to pay. So you subtract the detraction against the taxation, against the tax that you have already calculated. Based on your type of income, you have different layer or different amount of default detraction. So the Italian state give you by default an amount of detraction that will be subtracted to your taxes. And you will see in this calculation that sometimes if you put an employee income of a certain size, you pay less taxes than a general income, because general incomes, they don't have any kind of default deduction. Okay, so let's pick up employee. Then you can also include or exclude the social contribution. Let's keep the default options. You can also select if you possess a property or not, or you are in under rent, and this might be helpful because the rent can be also detract against taxes. So be careful about this. You can also select the fact that you're married or not, child, and other elements. But here, let's make it simple. Let's leave the default options. Let's imagine you are single, so you have the minimum deduction possible or detraction possible. We'll see how the calculation works. So basically, the only two most important points are the annual income and the region, okay, and the community. The type of income, for how long have you been working with this type of income, and you can put 365 days, and that's it. And then you can simply calculate. Here you have also the possibility to include the 19% deductible expenses. Be careful. In English, the translation is deductible means it's like a false friend translation, because deduction means reduce the imposable income, detractions means reduce the tax. So you calculate your taxes, you're going to pay 15,000 euro, around more or less 15,000 euro, plus 1,200 euro of regional tax, plus 450 euro of communal tax. And this is 2,000 if your monthly income is split between 13 months, because normally the employee type in Italy are 14 months or 13 months. Normally it's not calculated on 12. Your net in your pocket will be 2,450. Of course, you can just change this monthly income. You can have the calculation with only one shot or divided in 12 months. It's up to you. So the average tax rate is 30%. Okay, so with 50,000 euro, more or less, your fiscal pressure it's around 30%. Okay, you can also here include in the box the tax credit. The tax credit could be, for example, if you pay too much taxes the previous year, you receive a credit, or because you receive income from abroad and the Italian has signed some convention with the country from which you generated your income, then you have tax credit because maybe you have paid some taxes abroad and you can include taxes here. But let's keep it simple in this example. This is 50,000 euro. Okay, so this is more or less what you have paid in terms of taxation. What about if we put some other income, general income, which is not listed in the drop-down list, but everything else that you're earning? For example, income from abroad, more likely you went to Italy, you moved, you have a property under rent. This type of income, it's from abroad, and then it falls to IRPEF taxation with no detraction by default. Let's see how the fifth calculation changes. Yes, as you can see, you pay a little bit more, well, only a few hundred euro more, because you are not entitled to reduce your taxation. So the detractions means that you can take this annual tax to pay, and you basically can reduce this amount of money. So you take this 15,000 euro and minus detraction means minus some expenses like healthcare expenses. You went to the pharmacy, you purchased your medicines, you went to the doctor, medical visits, or you refurbish your property and you're entitled to receive 50% of the cost of your refurbish. This is a common thing in Italy, and you subtract all these things against this 50,000 euros. So that 50,000 euro is not the final amount of money to pay. It looks a lot, but you will reduce it a little bit, like by 5% or 10%. Just to make sure you understand about these detractions, if you earn like 30 or 20,000 euro, which is a little bit lower here, and you keep this as an employee, the amount of tax to pay is only 3,000 euro, 17%. Okay, but if I earn 20,000 euro as other income and I recalculate again, I pay 4,800 euro. How? Again, because as an employee, you are entitled to receive 1,800 euro as a detraction if your income is above 10,000, and it's a little bit less if your income is around 20,000 euros. So it's like 800 euros something. So as you can see, the calculation with the software is very important because the software is not just taking care of the calculation of the RPF taxation, but also includes the default detractions. You can also add other expenses, like 90% of certain expenses that you can add to the subtractions against your annual tax to pay. In Esentaxa, we have also a video in which we explain you a list of expenses that you can do on a daily basis and you're not aware that might be detractable against your taxation. Okay? Now, this is the case when you have to calculate your taxes with the RPF taxation, but what if you apply for special regimes? Okay, we have talked about the Forfeit Regime a lot in this channel, in which you reduce your taxation by 90%. That is a deduction. So you reduce by 90% your taxable income if you relocate in the south of Italy, for example, and then what remains fall into RPF taxation. So what remains is what you have to put in this software. For example, you earn 500,000 euro per year, but you're going to put only 5,000 here, okay? And the calculation of the RPF taxation would be, as you would see before, 15,000 euros. So you're going to pay 50,000 euro on 500,000 if you apply for the entity. There are also the other very famous regime for self-employed or freelancer, which is the forfeit regime. For the forfeit regime, we are not used the RPF taxation, but we have the possibility to apply for the 5% flat tax. The 5% flat tax, the first advantage is that, okay, you pay only 5%, that's good. It's flat, you don't have a progression increasing taxation based on your income. It's 5% in the first 5 years and then become 15% after 5 years. But the most important things, the real great advantages of the forfeit regime is that you don't add the two incomes. So everything that falls in the RPF taxation remains there, and everything that you earn in RPF will be always taxed at 5%. So even if your income, your global income grows a lot, it doesn't influence the RPF taxation average taxation. And that's very, very important. So you can keep this 5%, you can earn up to 65,000 euro, and the taxation on the RPF brackets still start from the lower one if you have another type of income at the top of your self-employed income as a forfeit. I want to go now to show you our tool, Esentaxa tool, in which we compare employee income with the self-employed income, putting like one against each other, the payroll, the Italian payroll that normally you receive when you're an employee, against the forfeit regime. Sometimes when you move to Italy, a lot of people are thinking, should I be employee of a company or should I be a self-employed as a forfeit regime? This tool works in the following way. It's very simple because it recognizes if you're apply for the occasional works. The occasional works is when you earn up to 5,000 euro and you're basically tax-free, when you just start up your business. And okay, so we put like 5,000 euro, everything is fine, 0% taxes, it's okay. But if you're running a business with a bigger income, of course, a normal one, let's say of 40,000, the tool automatically gives us the comparison between the payroll and the forfeit regime. The first box, it's lavoro dipendente, which in English means employee income. And the tool automatically tells you the percentage of fiscal pressure and social contribution pressure combined. So you know that 33% of what you have earned will be gone between taxes and social contributions. And you also have the netto in Italian, in English means net, will be 26,000 euro and something, and 2,000 euro per month for each month. Of course, with this tool, you can also check the details of every single or the most important points of your payroll. So this is what happens if you are an employee, and this tool also shows how much does it cost for the company your payroll, and this is at the 36% almost as in percentage, as it's at the top of the shoulder of the company that employs you. Okay, so while if you are basically earning this amount of money with the forfeit regime, which is in Italian is the partita IVA, when you open a VAT position, Italian means open a partita IVA, you will have the fiscal pressure and the social contribution pressure combined at 31%. but which basically looks like the same. But if you applied for the forfeit regime as a startup activity, you're entitled to do so. And when you move to Italy as a new resident, automatically you will fulfill all the requirements which are listed here. The taxation and the social contribution pressure combined falls to 23%. You see? And this is for the code activity for the general consultancy. What does it mean general consultancy? Is that you don't have too much costs to deduct against your taxable income. So your activity doesn't have a lot of expenses. And the forfeit regime works in this way that if you have the Italian state gives you forfeit cost, you don't even really account your cost because the Italian state give you, in this case, for this code activity that begins with these digits, forfeit cost of 22%. So it works like this. You earn a certain amount of money, you reduce 22% by default, regardless if you really had an amount of 22% in terms of costs or expenses. Then you calculate the INPT, which is in English, it's like the social contribution, and in Italian, INPT is the institution of National Institution for Social Contribution, and the taxation as 50% after having deduct this social contribution. 15% after 5 years, and the first 5 years, the same thing, it's with 5%. Of course, the forfeit regime really depends on the code activity. So if we change the code activity here, so if we go in a different range of these digits, we have a different deductibility in terms of forfeit. And of course, for example, the e-commerce, which is the 46.1, this is the beginning of the digits, then the code activity, they are exploded in sub digits, but we are not going to explore each one of them in this video. I just want to show you the subcategories in which you have differences in terms of deductibility, in terms of default and forfeit deductibilities. And here deductibility is bigger, it's 38%. As you can see here. For example, if you move to this kind of activity here, deductibility is 60%. And as you can see, the taxation and the social contribution combined drops to 16% in terms of taxes as an ordinary forfeit regime, and only 12% if you begin in the first 5 years. As you can see here, this tool allows you to understand broadly an estimation of how much taxes you're going to pay with the forfeit regime. And as you can see, if you compare back the same amount of money with the employee, you will have 33%, and the employee type cannot be changed. So this is very helpful to understand if sometimes the company that hires you in Italy wants to from you a partita IVA option or an employee option. So this is the difference. Of course, with the payroll, you have more benefits. You have the sick leave paid. You have the holidays paid, of course, but your income is more lower. So you have to make your own calculation and see if this makes sense. Of course, this even increases if you increase your income. So this difference becomes huge because if you have 65,000 euro in terms of revenue, you're going to have almost 40% in terms of social contribution and fiscal pressure combined. And if you go to the forfeit regime with the same amount of income, for example, as a trader or e-commerce business, you pay only 12%. And your net in your pocket is 4,000 euro 700 against only 3,000 euro 200. So as you can see, you have more than 1,000 euro difference every single month. Keep in mind that here you have a payroll. So you have at the top of your fiscal pressure and social contribution, the company has to pay you partially other part of the social contribution plus the liquidation and paycheck, some expenses, and the cost itself of the payroll. So of course, if you are a freelancer, most likely the company can offer you a little bit more in terms of rates, and you have a lower taxation because here you pay very low fiscal pressure and low taxation. Again, if you're a consultant, maybe this fiscal pressure is not so low. Again, general economical activity would be like this one, for example, with these digits range, and the taxation is 23%, almost 24%, which makes a little bit more higher because the Italian state assumes that if you are a trader, if you're running a business and e-commerce, you have a big amount of deductibility, while if you're just a consultant, of course, the deductibility by default. So this is our tool, Esentaxa. If you want any informations about it, if you want to have some clarification about this tool or other information in general, or simply if you want to have a consultancy on Italian fiscal system, in the description below the video, you will find our link to our consultancy services. Don't forget that if you subscribe to the channel Esentaxa, you will have for free all the new regulation, fiscal law news for free, because we are going to explain you and we're going to explore each and every regulation, and we will release a new video talking about these things that you might be interested in. So subscribe to the channel again, like button, notification bell, and see you to the next video.